So I'm very proud to be associated with the people of the Federal Reserve, and I'll give you an example why. When the pandemic hit, kind of out of the blue, and economies all over the world are shutting down, the U.S. Treasury market is stopping to function. Companies can't roll over their commercial paper. Economists are writing about a depression. People at the Fed who went through the global financial crisis 10 years before step forward and say, we got this. We know what to do. Here's what we do with the Treasury market. Here's what we do with money market funds. Here's what we do with the companies that can't get any financing. The markets were closed, and companies were having maturing debt that they had to roll over. The people who knew what to do in that pretty dire emergency were working at the Federal Reserve and other places. But I will tell you, it was impressive. And I think if you could have seen the way people react and how hard they work and how much they know and how well it worked, really. Our work during the acute phase of the crisis was very successful. And it's entirely due to the knowledge base that resides with career people at the Fed.
Yeah. Would you say that the Fed is overstaffed?
No, I would say that, overworked, maybe not overstaffed. Everybody at the Fed works really hard. It's a place where people work
and a lot of this
hard.
Conversation right now about staffing numbers at different departments and agencies, it's going back to this sense of the taxpayer dollar, in terms of accountability there. But I guess I just want to ask you, is the Fed paid for by the taxpayer dollars? Can you explain to us what the burden is on the taxpayer?
So we're self-funding through our large balance sheet.
So when it comes to the staffing at the Federal Reserve, not coming from the taxpayers, is that right?
Indirectly, we give away all of our profits. We give back to Treasury,
Mm-hmm.
and those profits would be higher if we didn't pay for the Fed. So in fairness, it's ultimately paid for by the taxpayer. But in that sense, we're self-funded.
Self-funded.
Yeah.
Just one last question here. You talked about the different actors that are involved when it comes to levying tariffs in terms of paying that the exporter, the importer, the consumer. You said middlemen could be part of that. I guess I just wanted to ask you, do you know of any way in which to 100% guarantee that the consumers will not have to pay higher costs when it comes to tariffs?
Not really. It's not going to be easy to identify with any accuracy exactly where costs do fall, but I think it'd be hard to guarantee any particular outcome.